Uh, Hello, my viewer. So today I want us to understand the difference between major, minor, and diminished chords. Many are the times that we use the terms occasionally, but maybe you don't know what makes a major chord or what are the components of the major, minor, the diminished chord. So before we continue, I may request you to subscribe to my channels, hit the bell for notifications, and always leave a comment to say that you have understood the topic and maybe what you want to be clarified. So we are still in key C. In key C, I want us to look at the major, minor, and diminished chords in key C major. First of all, in all keys, the first, fourth, and fifth chords, they are major. Do, fa, and so. So the first chord, the fourth chord, and the fifth chord, they are major. So we have C major, F major, and G major. They are major chords in key C. And then you have minor, D minor, E minor, A minor. And you have to note the difference. I'm using capital M for major and small capital for minor. Then we have chord 7. It's only one. It's a diminished chord. Diminished chord. We'll see why it's a diminished chord. So for major chords, like I have said in the illustration, if the distance between the root and the third, if the distance between the root and the third is 2 tones or 4 semitone, and the distance between the third and the fifth, it's 1.5 tone or 3 semitones, that gives us a major chord. It gives us a major chord. It gives us a major chord. So in the on the lower side, or the upper, the lower third, it's a major third. Then the upper third, it's a minor third. So we have 2 thirds. We have the lower third between the root and the third, and then between the third and the fifth, we have the upper third. So if the lower third is 2 tones and the upper third 1.5 tones, that gives us a major chord. And the distance between the root and the fifth, the distance between the root and the fifth should be 3.5 tones, and that gives us a perfect fifth. So for you to understand these terms well, maybe you should research more on intervals. This, that, fifth, fourth, unison, those terms are well expounded on the topic intervals. So then next, for minor chords, it is the reverse of major. So for minor chords, on the lower thirds, between the root and the third, we have 1.5 tones. So we have a minor third. Then between the third and fifth, we have a major third, 2 tones. So for major, we had 2 tones on the upper third, but for minor, we have 2 tones on the upper third. That gives us a minor chords. And still we have a perfect fifth, because the 2 plus 1.5 give us 3.5 tones or 7 semitones. Yeah, perfect fifth has 7 semitones. Then next but not least, we have diminished chord. A diminished chord, now we have 1.5 on the lower side and 1.5 on the upper side. So between the root and the third we have 1.5, between that and the fifth 1.5. So we have 2 minor thirds. That gives us a diminished chord. And then we, between the root and the fifth, and unlike in the major and in the major and minor, we have a diminished fifth. So my fellow viewer, the purpose of this lesson is for you to understand what makes up a major, a minor, and a diminished chord. So hope you have understood. And maybe the last thing, we can place or hear how major chord. So this is a major chord. So this is a major. So the first, that's a major. Then that's a major and a major. Then we have 2, 3, and 6. They are minor. 2, 3, and 6. They are minor. And then we have our 7th chord, a minor. Yes. Thank you, and continue following the lessons. Have a nice day. Music, it's a journey we learn day by day. Thank you.